Bueno, estamos en la presentación de la Nueva Diverge aquí en Eslovenia y bueno, hoy tenemos el placer de tener con nosotros a Miles. Don't worry, it's not going to be in Spanish, only the introduction.
Okay, that's good.
Miles es Product Manager de Specialized y uno de los responsables de la Nueva Diverge. Well, here we have the new top bike of gravel for Specialized. So tell us what's for you the most important new thing of this bike.
Oh man,
You have to choose
question.
one.
Okay, so I would say out of all those options, compliance is one of the most important. It's hard to choose. There's a lot exciting new things about this bike going on here, but compliance is the first thing that the team really focused on with the Verge 4. From the front of the bike to the rear of the bike, all new Future Shock 3.0 is incorporated into the Verge 4, and it reduces peak hand impact by 53%. So if you hit a big pothole, big rock on the road, big root on the trail, and you're going to reduce your peak hand impact by 53% compared to a rigid bike. So that really changes the experience and makes for a better all-around riding experience for gravel bikes. And paired with the rear, so with the Revolterra seat posts at the rear of the bike, it flexes around 20 millimeters rearward, back towards the rear wheel when you hit a bump, and really makes for a balanced ride quality when you're riding on rough terrain.
Yeah, let's go in deep to the Photoshop.
Of course.
We have seen, now we have three different options. No?
Yeah, so Future Shock 3, it's a third generation Future Shock. It was introduced years ago on Roubaix. Future Shock 3 comes in 3.3, which is hydraulically damped and has a dial knob on the top, so you can lock it out, go halfway into the middle, or you can go completely open, right? Future Shock 3.2, which is spec'd here on the Verge Expert, has the same hydraulic damping as 3.3, but it's all the way open all the time, right? And then there's 3.1, which is air sprung with a spring, right? And it doesn't have hydraulic damping, but it's still a really nice, supple ride quality for the rider on rougher terrain. On top of that, to dig into Future Shock a little bit more, you can change out the spring rates, right? So if you're a rider that has a little bit more weight on the front end and you're sagging in, you can switch to a stiffer spring. We have three options: soft, middle, and most firm. And then you can also add little red chips that change the preload to make it a little bit softer or make it a little bit more firm. So tons of options, tons of really great serviceability for Future Shock 3 series. It's very easy to clean, very easy to service, and it's very robust in terms of keeping out grime, like sweat, sand, or rock. Right?
And we have seen your mechanic make the change today in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, we say it's about as easy, or if not a little bit easier, than swapping a stem, right? You just need a little wrench to open up the top of the Future Shock, swap to a different spring rate, and voila, there you go. You've swapped to a different ride quality and something that could be a little bit firmer, or if you're after a little bit more supple ride quality, you could change to something even softer.
Let's go now to other important topic, inside the bike.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Storage.
So we say absurdly capable with the Verge 4, right? So what does that mean? It means all new storage, right? So Specialized was the very first brand to incorporate down tube storage in the trail mountain bike space years ago. And we've really upped the level. We've improved everything when it comes to down tube storage on the Verge 4. Compared to the Verge 3, the opening is 10% bigger. So you really can access anything you want. The lever itself is more ergonomically designed. So no matter if you're riding in the winter with really big gloves, or if you have sweaty hands in the summer, you can access this really easily. The storage itself is 5% bigger than previously. So you can fit an extra CO2, an extra gel. Really, you can fit whatever you want in this thing. I put jackets, I put snacks. You can put a first aid kit, any type of CO2s or tire repair kit can all fit into the down tube. So we're really proud of that and how it's incorporated and blends seamlessly into the down tube. And then second aspect of absurdly capable is tire clearance, right? That's probably a hot topic today. One of the hottest topics today is, and you can fit up to 2.2-inch mountain bike tires or any type of tire you want. In the Verge 4 with around 4 millimeters of clearance all the way around. We spec 45 tracers on the Verge. You can also, of course, fit 50s with around 8 millimeters of clearance all around. So tons of room for mud, even with 50s. We see a lot of our riders choosing that setup. as a really fast but also really confidence-inspiring setup with no matter the conditions, even if it's raining and you think you're going to have mud build up or sand build up, you can confidently run a bigger tire without worrying about damaging your frame.
So let's go now to geometry. Changes.
Yeah, good question. So we rethought geometry. So I guess Diverge 3 was already a class-leading geometry for gravel. Had a lot of confidence that you had from the front end of the bike all the way to the rear. So we didn't really invent the wheel when it comes to geometry, but we traveled around the world, got feedback from riders, retailers, and our off-road athletes, and said, how can we improve this and how can we make this better for the rougher terrain that athletes are riding these days? So we made the head tube angle slightly slacker, around 1 degree for each size for a little bit longer wheelbase. The chainstays grew by 5 millimeters in the rear. They're 430 now instead of 425 to balance the longer front center with the balanced rear center. The bottom bracket dropped by around 5 millimeters, and that's really key these days when riders are running bigger tires. That means their center of gravity is higher, right? So we want to make sure that you don't have that feeling of riding on the bike, and really when you're on rough terrain, you want that feeling of sitting in the bike. And when you're ripping around a loose corner like we were today in Slovenia, you want to make sure that you have that lower center of gravity and you can really lean into corners and not feel like you're gonna high side or go off the other side of the trail. So really key geometry updates, and that's something that I immediately felt when I got on this bike, compared to Diverge 3, a lot more stability, a lot more confidence, especially on steeper and rougher terrain.
Do you think one of the big challenge of create the new Diverge was the big difference of understanding the gravel from adventure to racing?
Yeah, so we see it. Yes, it is a challenge. Just to directly answer your question, but we see Diverge.
Only one bike for all.
Yeah. So we see Diverge as being a great option for riders on rougher and longer courses where you have fatigue building up over the long course of a 6, 7, 8, 9 hour day, right? And the future shock and the compliance in the rear really helps to combat that fatigue. Even for shorter rides, it's great in rougher scenarios. So it also has plenty of mounts. If you want to go bike packing, if you want to put bags on the bike, tons of places to put extra water, fork leg mounts here, and then extra mounts underneath the bottom bracket down tube area. So even fender,
even 6 bottles you can put on the bike.
If you wanted to, if you wanted to, or a keg in the bottom for a flat kit, or anything cage mounts for dry bags in the front, and then of course it has full rack and fender compatibility on the rear of the bike and the front of the bike for fenders. So
one last question for the alloy version. Maybe it's not so sexy that the carbon fiber, but maybe it's one of the one very very nice option for this new entry price.
Of course.
Tell us about the alloy version difference. Is same bike as same geometry exactly than the carbon fiber. Everything the same.
Good question. So 2 alloy models, Comp and Sport. And really, when we kicked off the alloy project, we asked ourselves, why should the aluminum rider who's buying an aluminum gravel bike have to sacrifice on any of the feature sets that the carbon chassis incorporates, right? So everything that the carbon chassis has, that aluminum bike also incorporates. So whether that's the exact same geometry, the same tire clearance, the same down tube storage, the same mounts, really everything about the alloy bike is the same except for the frame material, right? So all the same wonderful feature sets. We're the only aluminum gravel bike brand or aluminum bike brand to incorporate down tube storage into an alloy gravel bike. So really proud of that one. It wasn't an easy one to pull off, but really excited to bring that to riders and have extra capability there for the Diverge alloy.
So thank you so much, Miles, for your time.
Of course.
And congratulations for this new Diverge.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your time. Good, yeah.